You're like a 70-year-old in a 20-year-old body.
Thank you. Well, 70-year-olds listen to better music than 20-year-olds usually do.
Yeah. Our next guest is going to be Jude Roberts and Dylan Johnson, the big Dylan. Thanks, guys, for coming.
Thank you for
Appreciate
having
it.
us.
The reason I want to have you on, obviously, is because you guys are up and coming. Young in my eyes. How old are you, Jude?
I'm 19.
And Dylan?
21.
There you go. So when I was 21, back in the day, I had no idea what I was going to do in life. And I think it's amazing to have people like you that are so focused on what you're doing. I mean, I've known you for quite a while. I've probably known you longer than you've known me.
Probably so. I think so.
From a young age. But like I said, I think it's pretty cool that you guys are so driven at, like I said, I think it's a young age. And that's why I want to have you guys on and talk about what you're doing. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you for that.
I'd like to start with you, Dylan, if you don't mind.
Of course.
You a Huntsville native?
So I'm from Decatur, Alabama.
Okay.
A little town called Priceville is where I live at.
Big D, small town.
Big D, small town.
Big D, small. That's pretty good. Yeah.
I like that. Heck yeah.
Big D's from Priceville.
And I'm born and raised there. Went to high school there.
Which high school did you go to?
Priceville.
Priceville?
No way.
That's your guess.
That's kind of weird.
No way.
So when did you start in thinking about music? I mean, young age. Did you start out with? I know you play guitar, right? Did you start off with that? Or?
So my first instrument I ever got was a bass guitar.
Okay.
For Christmas. I think I was 12. And obviously for Christmas next year I wanted an acoustic guitar. And,
is that something that you chose bass first, or was it kind of like, hey, try this out?
It was sort of like my dad's deal to go with a bass guitar first.
So was he a guitar player? He needed a bass player.
He was no. He was he sang in a band.
Okay.
Back in his day.
Gotcha.
And at first it was sort of like he didn't really want me to go for music. Just at first, like I grew up listening to Steely Dan like on the record player.
Yeah.
Steely Dan, Bob Dylan. I'm named after Bob Dylan. So it's just like sort of going down that road of being a musician. He didn't really want me to fall into that right out the gate.
Yeah.
But after I got that first guitar, I kind of realized I had no option.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
And that's what started that for sure.
Yeah. Do you remember? So you said you went from bass to guitar. So at what point do you like, hey, I need some more people to play with? I mean, this is cool playing by myself, but was there a first band that you remember, or was it just a friend of yours get together? Or?
So my best friend, we decided to put a band together. We had to be, this before we could drive, maybe 14, 15. And his grandmother was actually in a band called Judy and the Mustangs, and they were big in Decatur for a little bit, I believe. And we used their basement to practice in, and it was me, him, and then we had a drummer. Cam played lead guitar. I sang, played rhythm, and then drummer. And let's see, we only did 2 songs. We did Honeybee by Tom Petty.
Yeah. Which we do now.
Which is pretty cool. And we did some Smashing Pumpkins. And we were just a high school band, and it never really worked out. But I guess that was the first people that I played with, really.
Okay.
My brother played, but we never started a band or anything together. Yeah. It was just practice.
Excuse me. I guess I should have introduced you a little bit better. You guys are with Alabama Heathens, right?
Yes, sir.
Alabama Heathens.
And then, so I think you didn't start with Alabama Heathens, right? Wasn't you guys in a band before that?
Yes. So the first band we were in together were called the Debriefers.
That's right.
Because we had to make it for my high school homecoming and prom at Grissom High School. And we had to come up with a name that was suitable for a high school, but we couldn't come up with anything better than the Panty Droppers. So we just figured, what's something?
You can't beat that. So
how do you take Panty Droppers and PG it with Debriefers?
I didn't even put 2 and 2 together, man.
That's the real.
That is the true story.
That is what happened.
So your principal didn't ask what that meant or not?
Nope. She accepted it with a smile on her face.
Everybody went with it.
Our drummer started laughing when I told her that.
Yeah.
So the Debriefers is funny enough. The rhythm section is the Grissom High School jazz band rhythm section at the time. It's Dylan Hurley on drums, and Davis
Hurl.
Brewster, D Hurl and DJ,
Hurl.
and Davis Brewster on bass guitar and trombone sometimes, and they're both ridiculous musicians.
Ridiculous.
It's a completely different band than it is now, than Alabama Heathens are.
Yeah, we were just, that was the first like legit band I was in, with players that were just a lot, like just really good, really seasoned players.
Yeah.
Even though the youngest person was a year younger than me, I think he was 17.
I know. I mean, I was the oldest, and I was 19 or 20. And it was fun though. It was really fun. I mean, we played songs that you wouldn't think a prom in 2023 would want to hear.
No,
like
if I were another kid at that prom, I would have hated us.
So did you play the whole prom, or was it just?
We played about an hour and a half or 2 hours.
Really?
We played, but we played songs like we got the double neck out and we did Hotel California at the end.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. We did like Simple Man, but we got into a reggae version of Simple Man.
We did How Sweet It Is by James Taylor.
No, did we? We didn't even play that. Remember? We didn't even play it. Because we got rained out the first time at home at our homecoming because it was in. So the prom was.
We did homecoming.
Yep.
Sorry, we only did 2 shows.
We did 3 shows. We did 3 shows. We played in Dwayne.
Your memory's like mine, man. Come on now.
It's close enough,
man.
We played in Dwayne Walker's Cow Pasture. I count that as a show.
Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
there was enough people there for it.
Yeah.
Play to the cows.
Yeah.
But I don't even know what we're talking about.
We're talking about
the debriefers.
We're talking about the debriefers. Well,
great band.
The original question was how did we get to the name of debriefers, and where did that come from?
Yes. Oh yeah. So Panty Droppers.
You got it.
Panty Droppers.
Yes, and we got the debriefers out of that.
I don't remember who came up with that.
You came up with Panty Droppers.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess the original name was the Panty Droppers, and you're like, okay, we're going to be playing at a high school prom. We're probably not going to go for that.
Which they still pushed for it to be Panty Droppers, but I had to be the voice of reason.
Yeah.
And then we came up with the debriefers. And it worked out like that. We, I was in the art program at the time, so I just went and got a bunch of our art kids to make a, little kick drum head for us. We're a surprisingly official band for a high school band.
I know.
That had 3 gigs.
Yeah.
We practiced all the time.
That was fun.
Jude, you got pretty extensive background, I think, right?
Yeah.
Started from a very young age.
Well, I started playing. My first instrument was a tuba in middle school band.
Yeah.
And Michael Klein said, hey, it's the same clef as a tuba? Bass.
Yeah.
So after 6th grade, I got braces on. And, you can't really play a wind instrument with braces on very comfortably. So Klein just started giving me bass lessons. And so I guess my first proper instrument was also bass.
Yeah.
Then about a year later, going into 7th grade, I was like, guitar sounds way more fun.
Yeah.
I very distinctly remember playing a Stevie Ray Vaughan song.
Does Klein start crying when you went to guitar?
Yes, he's still a little bit sore about it.
Yeah.
Well,
if you gotta learn somebody from bass, he's the one that you want.
He's
sure
one of the best bass players I've ever met. Yeah. He's a good teacher.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've heard me talk about Klein in the past before, but I've known Klein for a long time, but I didn't know him. What I mean, so I got to explain that a little bit. I've watched and saw him for years and years and years. And I think 3 words out of those 5 years I probably heard was, hey, what's up? And that was it for like 5 years. And then for all of a sudden, man, we got together one night and man, he talked my ear off.
Once you get Klein started talking, he doesn't.
I'm like, who is this guy? I went to my buddy. I was like, dude, that's the longest conversation I've ever had with anybody, let alone it's Klein.
That's cool. Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's a super good dude. And I would, I haven't had him as a teacher, but I can imagine the patience he probably has and the willingness to, help you with your talent.
He was a good teacher. And, I grew up with my dad, my dad's a musician and he always said, don't learn from me because it's going to piss you off.
Yeah.
I'm your dad. And if I try and show you something, it's just not going to stick. So having Klein showing me stuff, it really helped me get my rudiments down musically, I think.
Yeah. So how did you guys get together? I mean, you being from Priceville and you from Huntsville, did you guys put it like, I mean, how did?
Well, I was looking for a band and I remember my aunt knew Mike Roberts from, back in the day. Okay. And I had a lot of questions. I think I was 17, 18 at the time. And I was really deciding that I wanted to go music for a career. Like that's what I'm going to do. I need the tips. I need to know like, how'd I do this? How'd I do that? And so she introduced me to Mike, and he gave me all of his advice, overwhelming, just of stuff you need to get done, and how to gig properly. And after we met, he told me that he had a son, around my age, and that we needed to get together. And so he gave me his email, and I don't think I emailed you.
I don't think he emailed me. I think he texted me. I don't think I would have responded
you.
to an email.
I don't think I emailed you.
Yeah.
It's 2024 anyway.
That's 2023.
Yeah, I guess it was. Yeah.
Yep.
Has that only been a year?
It's because the Fast Country music video has been a year.
That's wild. But no, that's how I got to know him. He came over one time to the house.
That was so awkward.
It was weird, man.
I'm Jude.
It was weird, dude.
Exactly.
And I just started playing electric guitar like then.
Yeah. Like,
so a year and a half ago. And we jammed, but he was like,
he didn't know how to play a blues.
Yeah. It was a good time, though.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
So obviously still doing it.
So you got together at his house.
Yes.
Yeah.
So was there discussion of did you already have other people in mind, or was it just you two to get together and then trying to find everybody else?
Well, originally we got together and we were playing together for I think a few months, and then I had to get the debriefers together. So he was the singer and rhythm guitar player for the debriefers as a 4-piece, and I think that was the first band we were in together.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I had sort of in that same time, the original Alabama Heathens sort of
like parallel
came together. It's kind of weird. Like he was doing his thing, and then I already had a guitar player. We were a 5-piece at the time, and obviously things just didn't work out with them. This guy was available, so
I sat in at the Brick in Decatur.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's when I was like, damn, gotta have him. Yeah.
I've just been annoying them ever since.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I guess that's pretty cool. So I know you do some covers, but a lot of your covers are unique. You put your special spin on them, which is really cool. I mean, most places that you go, the goal is to play as close to the original as possible, but you guys take a really side twist to it, which is very unique and I think very drawing to people.
Thank you. And
we can hit on that a little bit more, but you also do, I know you talking about Fast Country. There was a special writer for that song.
So, go ahead.
Well, go ahead.
Someone's going
So what I was going to say is Fast Country is a song that was just put out by 5 O'Clock Charlie. You guys might have seen the video already. And it had a special writer to that, and that was who?
That was me.
That was Jude.
Yeah.
Can you tell the story of how that happened?
Well, so from my house to Grissom High School, the new one is about, well, it's not new anymore, but it's about 10 minutes away. And I cut through this little neighborhood, and there's this yellow, I never forget it. It's about as yellow as that bench over there, that Pac-Man bench. Mm-hmm. And it was a yellow Jeep, and it was covered in mud, just completely covered in mud. And it was sitting in front of me. And I got the very first few lines of that, caked up trucks, the general and junkies, I was like, hey, that's pretty good. I might keep writing that. And I was a bad student. So I took my first period of class and just wrote the rest of the song. And by the time I took it home to my dad, I was like, well, I don't know what to call it. So I just put Fast Country in as like a placeholder because I knew how I wanted it to sound. He's like, well, that's the name of the song. So when I took it to my dad, he just wrote the chorus, and we had the song pretty much how it is now. By the time we went into the studio, we had a lot of real good, took it to Clearwave in Decatur, Alabama, had Andrew Robbins on fiddle and Daniel Mason on banjo, and then 5 O'Clock Charlie for the rest of it. Yeah,
it's been a great song. Matter of fact, people that are outside of Huntsville, I talk to all the time, comment on that because, we actually shared that to some people, and man, who is that? That's one of my favorite songs I've ever heard. So a lot of kudos to you, a lot of kudos to 5 O'Clock Charlie. So I imagine you're probably going to bring a lot of that talent with both of you guys to probably write some of your own songs, right?
Well, if you call it talent, I just call it writing stuff that kind of goes together.
Yeah.
you can scream out and it sounds like it goes together.
Yeah.
But funny enough, in the Fast Country music video, which just came out, you can see the debriefers playing in a field.
I thought that was you all.
Yes.
I didn't know that was the debriefers.
That's the debriefers,
Okay.
and that's in Dwayne Walker's cow pasture.
I was there that day.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yes.
It rained. It was awesome.
Yep,
Yeah.
played Skinner in the Rain.
Yeah. Simple Man.
Simple Man in the
Okay.
Rain.
I had no idea when I went back there that was part of the video. And it wasn't until I was getting ready to leave where your dad was like, yeah, we're making a video. I'm like, well, where? I'm like, you're not playing? He's like, oh, no, it's just some, B-roll or whatever. But yeah, so not only are you famous for writing a song, you guys are actually in it.
Yeah, we're actually in it.
Right.
Yeah, it's a treat. It's a good tune.
And it feels like
tune.
forever ago, but
Yeah, it does.
We've written a couple together so far.
we've written a couple.
It's pretty easy, finding somebody that you click with like that.
Yeah.
Songwriting. We usually get one written every time we decide to sit down and do it.
Yeah, if we can shut up long enough to actually write the song, then we get it done pretty quickly.
Yeah.
If we don't, though, we'll just be talking the entire time. It's like talking to Klein.
Yeah. Yeah. We didn't mean that, Klein.
Love you, Klein.
We love
We're dogging you, but
It's always fun to dog the bass player, though.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
anyway.
And Will's not here.
Will's not here.
Yeah, so your other members couldn't be here, and that's kind of my fault, so I apologize to those guys. I promise you we're going to get you in here sometime. It's more of a technical issue that we couldn't get you in here rather than anything. But I promise you, like I said, I apologize to you guys, and at some point, we're going to get all you guys in here. Matter of fact, I was just talking to Dylan. Hopefully, in the next 2 or 3 months or so, we can get you guys
Oh,
to
yeah.
come out here.
That'd definitely be fun.
And maybe the
Love
audience
that.
doesn't know, but we have a lot of bands here at the Pickle Tato headquarters. We have usually, this has been an odd season because we've been so busy, but usually we have like one band a month. Everybody has a birthday. Everybody has something. We just make something up. Usually we have a band starting from like April, May timeframe all through the summer. We usually have at least one band here a month, but it hasn't happened like that. But you guys are special, and we want to have you guys here for sure in the next couple of months if we can.
We love
You
to
know,
play here. This
yeah, I'd
is
love
a great
to.
venue.
Yeah.
Your all's schedule,
sure.
I don't know how your all schedule is. Like, I think I saw on your Facebook page. Is that where you post most of your schedule? Okay.
It is. Mostly I post on Instagram every now and then, but Facebook is usually where the audience is.
We're the
Or my-
only young people that use Facebook, I think.
I
sure.
swear, yeah, I swear.
Pretty
We
sure.
probably are. That use it as frequent as
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I hadn't had a Facebook page in like 11, 12 years. If probably longer than that. And then for this, when we started this up, we're like, I mean, it's almost you have to do it.
You give into the order.
I don't really run the
yeah.
Facebook page. I mean, I'll look at it and I'll do comments here and there, but we have another member that runs that exclusively, and they do a great job on it. But this is necessary evil. So I get it. You hate Facebook, but
Oh, yeah. With
You must
burning
have-
passion.
yeah, must have to do it. And that's the way to get your stuff out there. Let people know where you're going to be. So to tell the audience, can I go to your page, or do you have a Alabama Heathens page?
Well, we have an Alabama Heathens page
Yeah, there is an Alabama Heathens page on Facebook
and Instagram.
and Instagram. The posts are not very
Frequent.
yeah, and we do it all ourselves, so
Sure.
it's kind of on us, it's something
We're
that,
guitar players,
that
though.
we need to
Give it to the bass
get better at,
I don't know if I want to give it to the bass player.
They do a good job.
He would do a
though.
good job with it. He'd probably do a better
we
job
probably
than
need to
us.
get him on that. He'd
Probably so.
No, but if you follow me on Facebook, just Dylan Johnson, I always tag the Alabama Heathens Facebook page and list all the gigs and stuff. We have a really good July coming up, playing every weekend, which is the first for us so far.
And actually, at the very end of July 26th, we'll be at Mars Music Hall for the Alabama Smoke Show coming up.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't know if we can. We'll have to ask the editor if we can get this out before then. Hopefully, we can.
Well, if it's not out before then it went great, guys.
yeah,
we missed a great show.
Missed a
it was
great show.
awesome.
If it is after, maybe we can take some. Maybe we can show up and get some footage and put it on this. Hopefully, I can't promise nothing, but we're gonna try our best to, because I know that's a big show for you guys. Well, for anybody to be able to play at Mars it's a big deal. So.
It should be a fun time. It's
Yeah.
mostly, I think it's mostly young people actually on the, which sounds terrible. It's mostly young
It's
people.
all local. It's
All
really cool.
local,
It's really cool.
I think the oldest person there is gonna be. Have you met Cam Jones?
That name
Great
sounds
singer,
really
great
familiar.
singer-songwriter. And Cam's not, Cam's young too. So it's a lot of talent from North Alabama, and I'm really excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
Who's he play? Is he play?
Cam Jones is he does solo, and I think he has his trio now.
I think he might be on our Facebook page. That's why that name sounded familiar. Do you guys want to mention your other players that you have since they're not here?
Yeah. William O'Rear. So that's our bass player.
Okay.
And then we have Ethan Chandler, who plays drums with us.
They're both from the. I think Ethan's from technically not the Shoals, but he's like somewhere north of the. It's like a small town. It's like how you're from Decatur, but you're from Priceville, kind of thing.
I guess I
actually like Priceville a lot better than I like Decatur.
Oh yeah. I love Priceville. I don't know why I always say Decatur. It's just like
it's bigger.
It's a little bit. Yeah. Like
I had no idea Priceville was as big as it was.
It's growing, man.
Because I would. What is that? Is that 36 or 67?
67.
Okay. So if you take 67 all the way out, and you drive through that little small, the old town, I guess it's called, where they got the shops right along the road.
Is it Hartselle?
Well, is that considered Hartselle? I thought that was Priceville. See, I don't know.
So that'd be Bethel Road.
Well,
no. I know what you're talking about.
But anyway, you take a right, and that's where I thought you went to Priceville. And I thought that little town was Priceville for like 4 or 5 years. I thought that was Priceville. So I would go that way to go to the 65, to cut on the highway. I'm like, man, it's a small town, And then I got a buddy here who's a sheriff there. He was talking about being a sheriff at Priceville, and I'm like, what do? Go check the locks and make sure they're locked up.
But
Priceville's actually really big. Actually, once I drove through there one time, I was like, is this Decatur? No, this is Priceville. I'm like, oh man, I had no idea. I just never went out that way for whatever reason.
Yeah, I love it. There's been a big push of like building homes around. So there's like 700 plus homes being built right now around it. So it's kind of going from a small town to, as big as.
We've got a Publix now.
Huge. I remember before a Publix, and we got a Publix, and that was the biggest thing in Priceville. Now we got a new high school and all kinds of stuff. It's cool though, but
unfortunately, sometimes that's a detriment. Growing like that. I know that's what everybody strives. I've had, my wife that lives here with me. She's talking about Publix up here, and I'm like, listen, Publix is the last thing. I'll drive 20 minutes just so I don't have because if you're big enough for a Publix, then it's already too big for me. I gotta start finding out where I'm going to move to.
Yeah.
So. All right, you want to talk about your pops a little bit, and
I guess I have to.
Well, you don't have to, and
Mike?
I know you probably get that everywhere you go, and you're probably like, come on, man. But it's significant enough to, I think, bring up.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm really proud of my dad. Yeah, I say that just
as you should be. So Mike Roberts, 5 O'Clock Charlie, the original guy, he's extremely well known here in town, and not just in here in town, but all over the music industry. And so how's that like being guided by him? I mean, you said, hey, my dad said, you don't want to learn from me. I can understand that because I try to teach my son stuff at a young age, and it didn't go very well.
Whereas if your buddy had shown him how to do it, he would have done it instantaneously.
Right. So I guess getting a little bit older, you probably pull a lot of stuff from him, I guess. I'm guessing.
I always say that I'm 75 or 65% self-taught because he just kind of showed me how to do it and let me figure it out the rest by myself.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things when I play, it's like, oh yeah, that's Mike Roberts. You can hear it. Yeah. But then there's other times when it's, I don't sit down and think about, I need to sound like my dad or anything like that. But It's just kind of osmosis.
Yeah.
I remember my earliest memories of being on stage when I'm like 2 and have hearing protection on and just looking up at everybody. That's just the kind of music what's the word? Like integrated into myself, I guess.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things I get from them, but there's also some randomness thrown in there.
Yeah. I mean, you can definitely, in my little humble opinion here, you can definitely tell you're an old soul. You're kind of like don't take this wrong.
Born in 05.
You're like a 70-year-old in a 20-year-old body, which is really cool. I mean, I think.
Thank you. Well, 70-year-olds listen to better music than 20-year-olds usually do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'm an only child, so I'm very much to myself. I never really was super energetic, and the only times I'm ever really energetic now are on stage.
Yeah.
So, but
jumping around.
They say I get the jumping bean gene from him.
Oh,
yeah.
It's something to watch. Kind of cracks me up sometimes when we're really like in a groove and I look over and he is just going. I mean,
I'm off stage.
It's pretty awesome, which it's hard not to when you're in that groove.
Stuff
it's
like that. Like my like I've always been, one of the things I've got from my dad is always entertain.
Yeah.
And you can't entertain unless you know what you're doing.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't jump around and act a fool if you're
concentrating on what's the next.
Yeah, if you're just sitting there looking at your fretboard, you don't know what you can't entertain.
Yeah.
But if you know what you're doing and you don't have to look down, then you can entertain all you want.
Play behind your head.
Play behind your head.
Yeah.
Play behind your legs.
Times. Yeah. I don't know if I want to do that. So where do you see? I just had this weird image in my mind. I'm like, no.
I'll get that image out of
you. So I try to put myself at your age and doing what you're doing. And I know how I was. Do you guys have any, I don't want to say arguments. Of course you're going to have disagreements. How do you guys figure that out between the band? I mean, is there a clear leader? Is there a clear, hey, everyone's got a voice in here? Obviously you do, but who's got the trump card? I mean, so you're pretty much running the show. Are you booking all the gigs and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's kind of how it like, I just kind of tell them where we're going to be, and,
it's not really like an authoritarian type leadership.
No, I get it. I mean, you have to have somebody who's leading the train.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't have three people going in three different directions.
Especially
you have to have
musicians.
somebody.
Of course.
Yeah, especially people like, Jude with their walkers and stuff.
God.
You got to know where they're going. A 7-year-old, right?
I'll get on my wheelchair and start going down the hill.
Right.
Have to catch up.
But we're all on the same page as far as playing, wanting to play, wanting to show people that we can play.
Yeah.
And right now I'm just trying to keep us booked. Just, right now till eventually we're playing different states, like I said, this July of us playing every weekend is going to be really good for us. I'm excited. I'm excited for our fans that come out and see us. But no, right now, I booked the shows, so I guess I'm kind of the
driving force.
I would say so. Do the merch and all that. Yeah.
Like we don't know if something's good enough, and like, hey, how do you think about it, Dylan? Or do you think that sounds okay, or what do we need to do different? That's the kind of.
But we all like during practice when we go over new songs, and which something I like to do is just play them. Not even like the record. You talked about how we kind of do our own thing.
We're not good enough to play the record.
I mean, at least get the basics down. But if you want to take a little solo, take a little solo. Or if you want to do something,
if you want to go to a 6/8, groove in the middle of that solo of that song, then do it.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning, I think it's good with, I obviously everybody's heard the song before, or whatever. And like also what I said is, people strive to make it sound as much like the original as possible. Like, hey, I can do this. But it's also has to take a lot of talent to be able to take something that's so well known and kind of make it your own. You know what I mean? And I think that, from the songs I've heard you guys do, I think you've done a fabulous job on it. And I would
thank you.
Encourage you to keep on doing that. I'd also encourage you to keep doing your, get some originals, get enough songs to put an album out.
Cause we should be having an EP coming out sometime soon.
Yeah, it's been coming for a while, but I would say by the end of the summer. Right now, it's getting all that's left is getting some EP artwork done.
Sure,
and we're on it. I got somebody on it. But it'll be 5 songs, including the single that's already out.
Yeah.
And it was recorded.
I wasn't
last
in the
year.
band.
He wasn't even. Yeah. It's just been crazy.
Now you got to redo it.
Figuring things out. I know.
Yeah. Right.
But I'm looking forward to getting this EP out because that band that recorded this EP we're different. I mean, we sound different, which I think is cool.
Different people.
Back to like,
not to say that that's bad or anything.
Yeah, no,
it's a good sounding EP.
It's just you change with different guitar players and different tones, and sort of finally being able to play live and do covers and not worry about them sounding like the original, and not like being like, oh gosh, I hope we hit the right note. Like it doesn't matter. You don't have to hit the right note. you know. And I think that goes into original music as well. If you're learning covers and you're trying to play it just like the original, then how are you going to write an original?
Yeah.
You know, how are you going to write something that's your own if you're doing what everybody else is doing?
Growing up, I've always like, say I'm learning a guitar solo for a song. You can learn the guitar solo note for note, but what I've always been told, you know, by my dad, you know, back to that, you know, keep what you need to be, you know, keep what you need from the original to keep it the original, but then be yourself on top of that.
Sure.
So keep what you need and then make up the rest as you go along. And yeah, we play a lot of, you know, a big thing, how you were saying we have to take songs that, you know, and make them our own, is we have to take songs that we like.
Yeah.
And if it's a song we don't like, it's definitely not going to sound like it does from the studio.
Yeah, it's hard to get. There's plenty of songs out there that, you know, you can choose from that either fits you or, you know, speak something to you or whatever.
Of course,
right.
Of course.
Like, you know, we're more inclined to do, I don't know, I can't think of a song now that I'm on the spot, but like say Calm with the Breeze, you know, JJ Cale version over, you know, I don't know.
Doing like a George Strait tune or something.
Yeah, doing. And
I love George Strait, but or like hitting a playing whip and post, and then playing, you know, a slow country song.
Yeah, you know, which there's time and place for each one. I love both.
Yeah, of course. But sometimes when you, especially playing like solo gigs and having to play crowd pleasers, they're kind of tough because your heart's not into it all the time. You know, because
I'm not playing Wagon Wheel.
That's a great example. Wagon Wheel is a great example, you know, but you got it. Sometimes you just got to play it because people are going to tip.
You know, this is a funny story. So this band has never learned Freebird by Leonard Skinner.
Yeah.
Ever. And it was a month ago now, right?
Yeah, Birmingham Southern.
We were closing down Birmingham Southern. Which fraternity was it?
Sigma Chi.
Sigma Chi. The Sigma Chi fraternity. And
well, can I pause you there for a second?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. How in the world do you... How do you get those kind of gigs?
Don't even ask us. I have no idea.
So I actually knew.
I mean, I hate to derail the story.
No, it's all good. I've been thinking asking the same thing.
Yeah. It was just from knowing one of my buddies from high school. He went to Decatur High, and he was he was the president, I think, of Sigma Chi, and he just hit me up. Knew I had a band and asked to come. We played there once before, and they really enjoyed us. And then for their last party ever. They invited us.
It was crazy.
It was a good one.
I imagine.
It's fun.
We played from 10 to 2, and it was 2 a.m, and we could have kept going.
Oh, we could have kept going. They would have stayed there the whole night.
You know, and they trashed that place, which people
that was the most disgusting bathroom I've ever been in.
Dude,
I've been in some gross bathrooms. That one was disgusting.
Well, I was going to bring up one, but I won't. We'll talk about off camera.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's cool.
You probably know which one I'm talking about. But anyway, we'll talk about that on a break or something.
But
the Freebird.
Freebird, man.
Yeah.
Back on track.
What is that guy? What, Tyson? What, you know what I'm talking about? Who I signed the drumstick for?
Oh, man. There was this dude that from the moment we started to the moment we ended.
He licked my guitar.
I mean, I'm talking 4 a.m. right before we left. Like, we waited 2 hours after the gig talking to this guy, and he is screaming, "Give it up for the Alabama Heathens." I mean, it was cool the first about 25 times, you know, but it gets
pretty old.
It was a good time, and for some reason he loved our drummer Ethan.
Ethan.
Like feeding
because
him.
Ethan was the only one that would do that shotgun a beer with him.
Yeah,
and then he just kept going back to him.
Yeah,
but he was our biggest fan. But he went absolutely nuts. Everybody did when we played Freebird. They'd been asking for it all night.
So we BS'd our way through it, and then I had to make up a solo that wasn't Freebird for like 2.5 minutes, and they went crazy.
It worked.
There were people walking. This is the best Freebird I've ever heard. I never heard it played live.
Yeah, and like the transition or when it modulates, you know, at the end, we kind of messed it up, but nobody could tell. And you just ripped something in G, and I was like, all right, that's gonna work. You know, it was a
whittly. That's all I know.
Yeah.
There's a recording of that out there somewhere.
Oh God, I hope not. I hope not.
Oh, it's probably good. You don't
Tyson's
even know it.
Probably got it.
He probably couldn't hold a phone.
Yeah.
I don't know.
To be honest,
we signed a drumstick for him.
Man,
he was great.
He's a great dude. Yeah, if you're listening to this, Tyson, we love you.
I hope you are.
Well, yeah, we hope.
I really hope you are because we need you.
Yeah, he probably doesn't remember any of this either.
I don't know.
He needs to come up to Huntsville.
He does need to come up to Huntsville.
Yeah.
I don't know where everybody. Yeah, but I gave him one of my picks. He almost started crying.
Dylan, what's your favorite number? 7. Write it on there. It just cool. I don't know, man.
He said
that was a good time.
Jude, I want you to write fuck. I said, okay, I'll write fuck. And I wrote fuck, and he's like, I love you, Jude.
Yeah. But man, those fraternity parties are pretty fun. We've only gotten a handful of them, but it's usually just knowing somebody. One of the brothers. Before Jude joined, when we were a 5-piece, we played a sorority for Florence, and that was pretty awesome. I mean, I could do that again. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like stuff like that. That's definitely stuff that's going to inspire you to do more, do better.
You could definitely write a song about,
absolutely.
Drunk dude asking you to sign his drumstick.
Yeah. I expect something's coming from that.
We need to get on that.
We do need to get on that.
Yeah. Hey, let's take a break real quick, and we'll be right back.
Right back at you.
Go ahead. Whatever.
Subscribe, please, to Pickle Cato.
Ready break. Hey,
Ready break.
we're back. We've been talking a lot of shit, and
All good things.
wish you could have been there,
Yeah,
but
good things.
anyway, we'll talk a little bit about it now. So we're talking about the whole marketing thing. Facebook for me is kind of like a necessary evil. I wish there was another kind of platform that was just as popular that could get the word out. But that's kind of the avenue that we have here to kind of get our stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
And you were talking about a page or something that, we talked a little bit on the first half of this of where we could find your schedule and everything. So it's your name, Dylan Johnson, right?
For sure. It's my name, my main page, and then connected to it is a page for the band just called the Alabama Heathens.
Yeah.
And we post on that from time to time. We're going to get better on posting every week, when we're playing, which we've just recently picked up a lot of gigs too. So that's another thing. We also have Instagram that we're going to start posting on a lot, but just Facebook and Instagram is our biggest things right now.
Yeah.
Not Twitter. We're X.
Yeah, we're not. I tried the Twitter thing. I just, I wasn't very active on it.
If I have a hard time using Facebook, I'm not using Twitter.
It's kind of like TikTok too. You got to be active or you're not going to get any views.
Yeah. Did you watch the Bucked Up podcast that we had on here?
Yes, I think I watched the first half of it because I'm very bad at watching podcasts.
Yeah, he's got like the bass player. He's got like
Alex.
Man, it's probably like 15 million views or something right now.
He just got famous over out of
awesome.
nowhere.
Yeah, it was he was doing squats while he was playing bass.
Oh
It's
shit!
actually pretty.
You know,
cool.
he's in my senior year, he was my 9th grade principal.
Yeah,
So
yeah, he told us some good stories that we couldn't put on camera because he's the principal.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
But
What is it, Lucia?
Murcia.
Yep.
Yeah, Murcia.
Yeah.
super good dude, man.
They're all great.
Really,
guys.
really good guy. And the
Yeah.
background that he has, I had no idea until he came on and he talked about his dad and everything,
Crazy.
and some of the people that he has staying in his house. I'm like, the Dalai Lama was there. I mean, it was pretty wild.
No, but you got to do it. I know that.
Yeah,
But
yeah, you got to do Facebook, especially to get your schedule out. And by the way, this should be posted on the 20th, so that's a Saturday night.
So
You're going to be
yes.
somewhere tonight
So-
as we're talking.
Yeah, so
Yep.
we'll be at Tux Bar in Minor Hill, Tennessee.
Okay.
Hopefully they'll be dancing. Hopefully they'll be dancing.
yeah, it'll be our first time there.
First time
Super
there.
excited for that. I believe we start at 8:00.
Yeah.
It's just
So,
a little 3-hour
If
gig.
that comes out the day we think it's going to come out, then Alabama Smoke Show should be that next Friday.
Yeah, the next
and
Friday.
then where are we at that? Open Bottle in Madison, Alabama.
So
That's it.
the smoke show is a pretty big event. That's at where?
It seems to be. It was a
That's at Mars, right?
yeah, it's a Mars Music
Yeah.
Hall. A buddy of ours named Jonah Evans. He's in the Jonah Evans and the Tennessee Walkers, or I don't know. They've changed their band name a couple times, so I'm not sure what it is right now.
Yeah.
But he just did a out of the blue email to Mars Music Hall, and they
just put it together.
Yeah, put it together.
Put it together.
I think they wanted to make it a annual thing. We'll see how it goes, but I don't know how much I can say. But if I don't, he didn't tell me what I can't say, so I'm dangerous.
Yeah, I forgot the guy that is running that, but I met him, and he was some kind of like a big time promoter or something at somewhere. I can't remember. I'm gonna kick myself in the butt for not remember his name, but apparently he is very, very well seasoned, and they hired him for that reason, to make the Huntsville music scene.
I knew they were pushing it.
is.
Yeah, I knew they were pushing it pretty hard. I know we have a who do we have? Dawson Slade on the opening. He was on American Idol.
American Idol.
Yeah, he was on American. He's a great singer.
Yeah.
Our buddy Caleb Mills.
Yep, Caleb Mills.
Cam Jones, and other people. Brent Carlisle.
Oh, I have no idea.
I hope I didn't just say his name wrong.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, we can go
There's more people.
we can go to the Mars music thing. I'm sure they got a schedule somewhere
Yes,
on Facebook.
they do, and we do it.
Yeah.
And I actually just posted the schedule again for my Facebook post today.
Yeah.
So
Sweet.
Yeah, it seems the tickets are been selling pretty good, and
I think we're over 100, over something.
Yeah,
somewhere.
we're just grateful to be a part of it. I mean, I remember going and seeing Tesla there twice, and drive-by truckers.
Yeah, we saw truckers
Dan and
there.
Donato, and we're going to be able to share that stage.
Saw Government Mule there. Saw
Yeah.
Well, Dave Anderson
Brother
just
Kane.
played there last weekend.
Yes,
Atlanta
yes, it
Rhythm
did.
section.
Yes,
Yeah,
it did.
yeah.
Whole lots of people have played that stage.
Pops played there.
Pops did indeed play there. I've been in the back. That's how I know the backstage is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's real nice. They have separate bathrooms and shitters. It's really nice.
Nice.
Yeah, gotta have that, man. Gotta have the extra.
And there's
shitters.
nothing on the floor.
That's right. Yeah, I was back there with them, and
Mm.
they had everything out there laid for them. It was a really nice venue.
I'm pretty
I'm
sure there's
looking
even
forward
a
to
Microwave Dave book there. So,
Yep.
which I'm always a fan of.
Yep. Yeah, it was. We had Evan, like I was telling you about before. I'm not sure. I didn't really get an idea of. I don't know if he started the foundation. Or if he's like the president now, or if he's running the whole thing, I'm not sure.
I know
but,
he's involved in it very heavily. I'm not sure about all the details.
So if you're watching this, the previous podcast that we had was with Evan Billiter. He's a Microwave Dave guy that you can listen to.
We love you, Evan.
Yeah. Before we take off here, I want to talk about your influences. And I know we've talked a little bit about your dad and everything, and you talked about your dad kind of starting you with the bass. What are some of your influences that brought you to this genre of music?
Man, so when I was a little kid, I mean, like in a car seat, I remember Johnny Cash was the first voice I ever gravitated towards.
That's a good one.
Johnny Cash, and this is completely different from Johnny Cash, but then it was Kiss. So those were the two that I remember like vividly like rocking out to as a 2-year-old or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the house, Dad would have on the record player Steely Dan. I generally am burnt out on Steely Dan. I love Steely Dan, but like it was Steely Dan, Neil Young, Bob Dylan, Rolling Stones, all that kind of stuff. The first band that I was old enough to kind of, start playing guitar was the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Flea, I had a bass, so I wanted to be like Flea.
Yeah. Well, Flea's not your typical bass player.
No, not at all. And I didn't enjoy being naked all the time. So I couldn't.
You didn't like wearing a sock?
Yeah, no.
It gets kind of cold.
Didn't have socks big enough. But
all right. Whatever you say.
Yeah, that was not a fact.
Yeah, you're supposed to slap it.
Average socks. But
Hack to on that thing.
Man, I love songwriting. I love songwriters. Townes Van Zandt, Bob Dylan, Neil Young. Where it's not even about the singing as much as it is about the writing, and Bob Dylan writing all these songs for all these amazing artists. Jason Isbell is one of my biggest influences as well in songwriting, or guitar playing, of that matter.
Yeah. Definitely good influences, and you can kind of hear it a little bit in your playing. Oddly enough,
appreciate that.
Yeah.
I listen to that kind of stuff. Steely Dan, Jason Isbell, Bob Dylan, pretty daily.
Yeah,
music's always going, whether it's in the radio or in my earbuds or in my head. For that matter. So
what do you think, Jude?
a lot of stuff that I don't listen to. I listen to Jason Isbell, but like say I don't want to get crucified for this, but I'm not the biggest Neil Young fan for one. But
I know that.
We've
discussed.
We've made many jokes of Bob Dylan's vocal ability.
It's really good.
It's really, really good. It's really good. Anyways, but we still kind of marry somewhere in there with.
So how's your influences tie in with his?
Well, the first song I remember hearing was either Thorn in My Pride or Twice as Hard by the Black Crowes. And, AC/DC. And apparently when I was little like 2 or so in a, what is it called? Car seats.
Yeah, car seat.
If I wouldn't go to sleep, my dad would take me around the block and we'd be listening to Government Mule live for Alan Woody in the 90s or something when Alan Woody passed the concert. And apparently I'd go to sleep. I'd clap along with it and then just go to sleep.
Pass out. Listen to Government Mule.
Yeah, which that actually made me pretty tired when I went to go see him. But, Jimi Hendrix, lots of blues. I remember spending hours when I first started playing guitar. It's like, who does everybody listen to? Oh, it's B.B. King. Okay, I'm just going to sit here and try and do B.B. King stuff. And then you realize you don't sound like B.B. King.
Yeah.
So you may as well do some other stuff while you're at it.
Yeah.
And, I'd say classic rock, blues, R&B, and reggae. That's a big reggae fan. Bob Marley and the Wailers, and what's the stupid? Oh, Slightly Stupid. Slightly Stupid.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Which obviously, I struggle with the name, so it's not something I listen to on the regular. But I like lots of different types of music. I like singer-songwriters, but
I feel like when we first met, I was still very singer-songwriter type, and you were definitely rock and roll. I mean, you were Hendrix and
Steve Miller and stuff like that. Which
I love all of it.
I love Townes Van Zandt. I love Jason Isbell.
Yeah,
it's just a different cut to the same cloth, I guess.
Which I played acoustic guitar for 5 years before I even picked up an electric and started trying to learn. So,
and the very first thing I ever played on guitar was A Whole Lot of Love by Led Zeppelin with my dad's gold top.
Yeah, that's pretty
different.
It is different.
Completely. But it still works out. We've, married it together as best as we can, and we're still working on it.
Yeah, I went from playing a Telly into a little 12-watt vibro champ. Now I got a 70s Gibson Les Paul and a 32-watt orange to keep up with this guy. Yeah.
You're welcome.
It's pretty sweet, though.
It's fun. It's a lot more fun when people hear you.
Yeah.
We were talking about, Black Label, it's fun. You need people to hear you when you're that. Not that Black Label's a whole lot better than us, in my opinion, but,
of course.
You need to be heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, good music loud.
Good music loud is great music.
Sweet. Tracer, you got anything else for us?
Nope.
You must have a chew in.
Who is that guy?
Who's that weirdo in the mask?
I don't know. He's gonna say anything else? Just no.
Just no.
I don't know who's he staring at. He's in a mask.
I know, we couldn't tell.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Hey man, is there anything that I haven't asked you that you want to bring up?
I'm sure there is that we'll think of.
Yeah, you can just
send
home. Yeah, you can just video it and just send it. We'll edit it right in there.
Well, yeah.
All right, guys.
A voice memo.
We're going to cut it off right here. If you're all good, we're going to get some B-roll before you leave, and I want to appreciate you. I appreciate you guys coming out, and I know, taking time out to do this, you could be doing much other things that's probably better for you.
Thank you for having us.
More fun anyway. I hope you had fun, and like I said, thanks for coming, and thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you guys. We're out.